Now let's talk about chipping. This shot can save you anywhere between 7 to 14 shots, depending on how well you get at this shot and how well you practice it. It's a very simple shot. It's a shot that we're not going to use our hands on. What does a chip means? A chip means that the ball is only going to fly a very short percentage of the way in the air. For instance, I'm using an 8-iron right now. You could use a 7-iron, a 6-iron. And what we're trying to do is get the ball to fly from about 6 feet off the green onto the green and then get it rolling. You see, you never want to put the golf ball up in the air unless you have to. So with this shot, it's not designed to throw it way up in the air and then just land a few feet from the hole and then stop. It's going to go a very short distance in the air, and then it's going to roll a large percentage of the way. How much is determined by the club that you'll choose. Obviously, a club that has a much straighter face won't fly as much in the air, and it would roll much more. So what you're trying to do is pick a club that you can just get the ball from here 6 to 8 to 10 feet, however far you have to carry it, and then allow it to roll from there. Let's talk about our position of our body and where we're trying to get ourselves positioned. On this shot, the ball will be placed off of your right foot. And what you're going to do from there is your left foot will be slightly behind your right foot, about 2 inches. So my hips would be aimed slightly left of where I would want my ball to go. Now what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to choke down on the club almost to the metal. At that point right there, what I want to do is I'll have my weight leaned on my left side. I could pretty much hit the shot off my left leg. Probably 85% of your weight will be now on your left leg. What I want to do on this shot is I want to have very, very relaxed shoulders and arms. You see, as I'm doing this stroke, I'm not going to use my hands. My arms are just swinging. It's very much like a pendulum. This point of my swing will not be changing. The angle will not be changing. As you'll notice here, I have a small pivot on my front leg. This is not a shot that I'll be shifting my weight on. So my ball is towards my right foot. My weight is leaning on the left side. If you have a shirt on and you have a button, you're trying to get the button out in front of the golf ball. Remember, what makes a golf ball go up in the air is hitting down on it. So what we want to make sure that we do is place the ball in a position that our club will be working down as it gets to that golf ball. So our swing center is actually in front of the golf ball. We've choked down, our weight is on our left side, our arms and shoulders are very relaxed. This is the shot where you want to keep your head down. I always say keep your head down on this shot until you hear the ball land on the green. Once it lands on the green, then go ahead and look up. But I always say if you look up any sooner than that, I can assure you, you will not want to see what you're about to see, because it might take off like a rocket, or you might leave it right here. Either one of those, we don't want to even put them in our mind. So we keep our head down, and it's just a pendulum. It's not a very violent stroke. It's a very, very gentle stroke. The pace on our backswing and our forward swing are very, very similar. What we'll have to learn on this shot is how to control our distance. Here we go. The shot will look something like this. Line myself up, relax. I heard the ball land, now I can go ahead and look up. As you'll notice, as I finish this stroke, where my hands positions are. If you notice here, if I bring the club back, my hands are in the same position that they started. The club head never finished in front of my hands. One of the things that I like people that are just getting started to do is actually switch their hands and have their left hand low on the club. A lot of tour players putt this way, and we just practice the stroke. What that allows you to do is just pull with that left arm, and it takes away the hands. You can even practice like this. As you notice, as I do, I've not changed that angle at all in my hands and arms. Now, if we want the ball to go a little bit more up in the air, we'll have to do something a little bit different. Now let's talk about how to get our ball up in the air. There's a couple of things that we've got to do differently in order to get our ball up in the air. Now, for instance, we're 15 to maybe 20 feet from the edge of the green, and what we want to do is maybe get the ball to go half the way in the air and then roll the other half of the way. So 50% of the distance will be going in the air, 50% of it will go on the ground. I have to add loft to the club. There's two different ways to do this. One is to choose a different club. I was using an 8-iron, now I'm using a sand iron. A lot of people think the sand iron is just for using out of the sand, but it's a tremendous club to use around the green as well when you want to get the ball up in the air. A couple things I'm going to do differently here. I'm still going to have the ball back in my stance towards the inside of my right foot. You know, I said right toe, but actually it's just slightly inside of that. I'm going to take my same setup. I've just chosen a different club. So there's two things I can do differently. If I need even to get, like I say, 50% of the way in the air, I'm going to play the ball sort of back in my stance, choose a different club. The shot is going to be the same. Okay, that ball, of course, obviously is going to go up much faster. It will not roll near as far, but we can go pretty much the same. Like I say, 50% will go in the air, 50% of it will stay on the ground. But you'll notice here I do have a little bit of a pivot, but I'm not going to shift my weight. One other variation that you can do is you can play the ball a little bit more towards the center of your stance, and now the ball might fly 75% of the way and only roll a shorter percentage. But again, we're going to keep our head down till we hear that ball land on the green.